Blissful good morning to each and everyone who is just listening right now. Welcome to the last episode of Investment. So, why I made this video? The reason is simple is that in this video I am going to provide my personal conclusions, or you can say personal opinion, through which you can get an idea that in which class of asset you should put your money in. And this is not a mandatory requirement, this is not a mandatory conclusion that you must invest your money in these classes of assets. This is just a personal opinion of mine. If you find this suitable, you should go after these classes of assets. If you don't find these suitable, then you should definitely not go after these. Okay, it's totally your money, it's totally your decision. So if you have not seen my previous videos, if you have not seen the previous first, second, third, fourth and fifth episodes of investments, then this video is not going to make any kind of sense for you. So it is advisable to each and everyone who has not seen the previous episodes of investments, you should definitely visit the previous episodes of investments. Okay, so let's start the topic. So in this video, first I am going to share a clear cut what I have discussed in my last videos. So in the series of investments, I have talked about the introduction to investments, the classes in which I have covered the fixed income instruments, I have covered the equities, gold and the real estate. So why I am making this video? I have already said that this is just a conclusion video through which you get a idea that we can put our money in this class of asset. Okay, so there are certain steps, I have made certain steps through which you can get 100% idea that either you should invest your money or you should not invest your money, in what class of asset you should invest your money, in what class of asset you should not invest your money. So first, make a plan. It means that first analyze your mind, first analyze your vision and analyze your mindset, that for what kind of purpose you need your fund. It means that do you need fund for creating your wealth, or do you need fund to make to purchase a car, to purchase a property, or for your marriage, or it can be any purpose, it can be any purpose, anyone can need fund for any kind of purpose, totally your purpose. Okay, so first to make a plan, it means that for what kind of purpose you need your money. Once you are able to identify the need of your money, the need of your fund for which you are going to utilize your money through your investment, after that, another factor that lies within the scope is that identify your age group. It means that first you make your plan, you cleared in your mind that for what kind of purpose you need your money. Now you need to identify your age group. It means that just analyze, are you a teenager, are you a student? If yes, then it's too good. It means that you have a lot of time available to accumulate a fund, because in basically the retirement age is 60, and if you are a teenager, it basically means you are under your 20s, and it means that you have a sufficient time to create a wealth or to create a fund. And another category that I considered here is that a person with a stable job. It means that person in the mid 20s or in the late 20s or in the 30s and above them that. Okay, so if let's start with the teenager. If you are a teenager, then first analyze, just make a difference in your mind, just make a nuance of difference here, is that you have a time. Don't worry to commit the mistakes do form part of learnings, mistakes do form part of knowledge, and if you don't make mistakes, you are not going to learn anything. So just make sure, if you have to make mistakes, then make mistakes. Don't worry, you have a time. Don't worry, in the end you will see yourself making a good corpus for sure. Okay, now if I talk about the teenager, then you should provide the systematic investment plans, or you can say the SIPs. Why I am suggesting SIPs to a teenager or to a student? Because it is not possible for all kind of teenagers or for all kind of students to provide a large chunk of money in 5,000s, 10,000s, 20,000s per month, because you are not earning right now. Okay, you are not earning right now, and even and if your family is not able to provide you that kind of money, at the end of every month, then it is not possible to provide a lump sum money to your investments. So I am taking the averaging of all teenagers, then you should definitely go after the systematic investment plans at the end of every month. It can be in the end of 15 days, it can be monthly, it can be quarterly, it can be half yearly, or anytime, but not here. Okay, so you should definitely go after the systematic investment plans. So this is for the teenagers. And now if I talk about the person with a stable job or beyond than that, then you should go after providing a lump sum amount to your investments. Why I'm saying lump sum amount? Because it's not a hard nut to crack for you, because you are earning, you have a job, you are earning through your salary, and if you provide around, let's say if you are earning 40 to 50,000 rupees, then it will not be a big deal for you to provide 15 to 20% of your salary towards your investments. It means that if you are earning 50,000 rupees and if you have to take away the 20% of your salary, then 10,000 rupees per month is not a big deal. It's just 20%, and you are not wasting this money, you are investing this money. Your 10,000s will become 20,000, 25,000, 30,000. You are not wasting this money. So 20% of your salary is not a big deal. That's why I am saying, for all the persons with a stable job, for all the person beyond their 30s, they should provide a lump sum amount. And the another reason why I'm saying lump sum amount to such kind of people, because you don't have that much of time available that a teenager has. It basically means that teenager means in less than 20, teenager less than age of 20, and you are in your late 30s, your early 30s, mid 20s, late 20s. It means that you don't have that much kind of time available in your life. And the power of compounding, which is also known as the eighth wonder of the world, is following you. It means that the another, again I am saying, like the 10% of 5,000 is just 500, and the 10% of 1 lakh is just 10,000. It means that higher the amount, higher the risk, and higher the risk, higher the returns. So just put this simple chronology in your mind and just start your investing journey. Now you learn about the systematic investment plan that a teenager, if you are a teenager, if you are a student, then you should literally provide a systematic investment plan at the end of your tenure. And if you are a person with a stable job, if you are a person in your mid 20s, late 20s, early 30s, then you should definitely provide a lump sum amount to your investments. Okay, after that, analyze your risk appetite. What kind of a person you are? Either you are a teenager or you are a person with a stable job or with a earning. Now why I'm saying analyze your risk appetite, it means that there are multiple kinds of people with multiple kinds of mentality in their mind or in their head, that they are not ready to take more risks in the market. Because I don't know what kind of people, for such kind of people who are just trying to invest their money, there are multiple people who made people like this in doubt, that don't put your money, you will lose your money definitely. Stock market or any other class of investment will definitely eat your money, you are going to lose. And they start suffering from the fear. So this should not be done by you. Okay, so analyze your risk appetite. If you are ready to take high risk, you should go after equity. And if you are a person who is able to face low to moderate risk, then you should go after the mutual funds, the index funds, gold, or you can say the PPF, public provident fund too, and other which I say bonds. You can also go after the sovereign gold bonds, SGVs. Okay, you can purchase private or public bond, whatever you want. But let me be clear here. What I am saying is that a teenager, well, we all should take risk, we all should face risk, because the risk is something that forced us to bring mistakes in our life. And when mistakes comes in our life, we start learning from our mistakes. Why I am saying a teenager should face more risk, should bear more risk? Because in your teenage you are made to make mistakes. I am repeating my sentence, just to pay attention. In your teenage You are made to make mistakes because this is the only age group who made a lot of mistakes, a lot of mistakes. And if a teenager don't make lot of mistakes, then this teenager is not going to learn that much, okay, than of his peers or his relatives or friends or whatever it can be. Okay, so made your mistakes, never afraid to make your mistakes. And let's say you are a teenager, you're a student, and you planned your systematic investment plans at the end of every month with a worth of 500 rupees. Now if you invest your 500 rupees and you are a person of high risk appetite, and you just put your money in equities, and even if you lose all your 100% of your money, it means you lose your 500 rupees. Or if you lose the half of amount, it means that you lose your 250 rupees and you are now just left with 250 rupees. Don't panic, don't panic. You are made to make mistakes, because if you don't make mistakes, you will never learn. I am not only talk about the markets, I am also talking about the real life, that you should make mistakes. And you should not only learn from your own mistakes, you should see other people who are making mistakes, and you should learn from their mistakes too. And this is the fundamental notion, that everyone should learn from their mistakes as well as from the mistakes of others whom they are seeing around them. Okay, so you should definitely do this. And if you are a person who are facing a low to moderate risk, then you should not put your step in the money market directly. But one thing that I want to discuss here, or you can say this is a kind of tip from my side, is that if you are a new buy, if you are a new buy, or you can say if you are a beginner in the market, you should not put your money directly in the equities. You should not purchase directly the shares of a company. You should never go after any kind of tip by the brokers or by any kind of messages, text messages, or through Google. You should not invest in any kind of company based on tip or based on research conducted by someone else, if you are a new buy, if you are a beginner. Now first learn, then remove L from learn, and the only word that left with you is now earn. It means that first learn theoretically, first learn theoretically, because if you can learn theoretically, then you are now able to provide that knowledge of yours in a practical manner. And it is so obvious, we all know that. But first provide your senses towards learning about the market if you are willing to invest. If you are not willing to invest, then it's not a worry. But if you are planning to invest in equities, if you are planning to invest in the stock market, in shares, then you should definitely provide your time and your senses towards learning. Now many people think that you are saying just first learn, don't earn. And what if we take 1 year in our learnings? It means that now we are late by 1 year in our investment journey. Who say not to invest? I am just saying not to invest in shares, not to invest in stock market until and unless you are able to learn sufficiently. Okay, so first learn. And in the journey, when you are learning about the markets, provide your money in the mutual funds, provide your money in the public provident funds, provide your money in the gold, provide your money. You can also put your money in bank accounts. Don't do that. Your money, you can do that. Okay, you can purchase bonds, sorry. And why I am saying this, because mutual fund, still mutual funds are subject to market risks, but mutual funds are not that much risky as much as risk you are going to face in the equity markets. It means that you are just providing your money without any kind of knowledge to a certified corporation with a good credit rating agency, with a good rating. It can be triple A, triple B, triple C, but not less than, not below than that. Provide or go after any kind of company, any kind of corps who has a good credit rating. Okay, it means that triple A, double A, single A, or triple B, double B, single B, not below than that. Okay, now put your money in mutual funds, invest your money in mutual funds, and through this process, when the process is going on, when you are just putting your money in mutual funds, when you are just putting your money in bonds, just learn the markets deeply. Now how can you learn? You can learn through the YouTube videos, you can learn through the Google, you can learn through the articles, you can learn through the magazines, you can read books. Just read books as much as you can, because the number of books you will read about the financial literacy, the times of enhancement of your knowledge you will face in your life personally, seriously, you will definitely going to face that. Now let me tell you a fact. If you just watched a series of Harshad Mehta scam 1992, now many people, what they have done, they just simply put a large chunk of money in shares without knowing the basics. They don't even know the basics of market, they don't even know what a BSE is, what are the indexes, how to analyze a company, how to analyze the business of a company. They don't even know these kind of information, and still they put their money. Why? Because they all wanted to become Harshad Mehta. You should not do that. You are not going to be Harshad Mehta in a so short period of time. You need a large amount of knowledge for that, a large amount of skill for that. And why you wanted to become Harshad Mehta? No one wants to become like him. Well, he is knowledgeable person. You should seek for his knowledge, but you should not seek for his personality. There is a difference. Okay. Now a newbie person, or you can say a beginner to the market, it can be a teenager, it can be a person with a stable job with a salary earning. You should not put your money directly in stock trading. Just avoid the stock trading if you are a new to the market. If you are a new market participant, and if you don't have the foundational knowledge, if you don't know the methods, if you don't know about the skills, if you don't know about the basics even, don't put your money in stock trading, because if you do, you are definitely going to blame market as a gamble market. You will definitely say stock market is a satta bazaar, because you are doing that. So never put your money in stock trading until and unless you know the basics, until and unless you know the foundational methods of the stock market. Okay, you should not do that. So first learn, then earn. And when you learn, put your money in mutual funds, put your money in safer classes of assets that will provide you a good returns, and that will even double your money, and you are not going to lose your money. And I am not saying that you it is 100% you are not going to lose money. You can, if you are unfortunate enough. If you are unfortunate enough, then your money will lose, because mutual funds are also subject to market risk. Even each and every class of asset is subject to market risk. So now it is clear. If you are new to the market, first learn. And if you can't wait for learning process, and if you want to invest that we have to grow our money, then don't grow through the stocks market, then don't grow your money through the shares. Just put your money in mutual funds, they are safer. Okay. And when you learn, completely diversify your chunk of money from mutual funds to the stock market in shares, but not in trading, not in trading, in value investing. It means that just put your money put your money in any kind of good company, and just wait, hold for years. It will definitely turn your money into a great corpus. Definitely it will. After that, what I will say about this kind of mentality about the people who are just new by to the market is that don't put a large amount of money if you are new to the market. Okay. And don't hope for the tips provided by the brokers, and don't trust anyone. Don't trust anyone who just come to you and said to you that give your money to me, I will double and triple and make your money 10 times as of now, just give your money. Don't give your money to that people, uncertified people. If that person is certified, if it is a corporation, if it is a agent, then you can trust up to a some sort. But if that person is uncertified, don't provide your money to that person. He will definitely commit fraud. So if you are a new buy, just put your money in mutual funds, and after you learn about the markets, now you can shift your diversification from the mutual funds to the stock market in shares. And I'm not saying that once you learn about the market, now you're going to make lakhs, in millions, in billions, in trillions, quadrillions, quintillions. I'm not saying that. Even if you learn in initial point, you will suffer losses. Definitely you will suffer losses, because you was learning theoretically. Now you are going to provide your theoretical knowledge in a practical sense, and now you are going to learn in a deep manner. I'm not saying that your theoretical knowledge is not going to worth here. Definitely it's going to worth, because your losses will be restricted up to a some level. If you put your money as a new buy without learning in stock market or in stock trading, you will lose 100% of your money for sure. If you don't believe, please do this stunt. Definitely you will lose, I assure you, 100%. But if you learn first and then you put your step in the market, you will face losses, but not 100% of your losses. It can be 20%, it can be 30%, but not 100% of your losses. And over time, this 20% or this 30% of your loss will be recovered. For sure it will be recovered. You will see it will be recovering in your portfolio. And after that, if you are willing to invest in real estate as a teenager, just wipe that class of asset from your mind. You just invest in bonds, mutual funds, stock market, equity. Just invest your money in gold. Real estate is not your cup of tea as of now. Wait for years to come. After that, if you have a large corpus of money, you should go after real estate. But as of now, as a teenager, don't go after that. If you are a person with a stable job with earning, and if you has a big corpus, if you has previous lands, then you can try in real estate. It will definitely going to worth for you, but with skill, with knowledge. Without skill and without knowledge, you will lose your money. Don't go. Again and again I'm saying, knowledge is important, skill is important. Without knowledge and without skill, you are not going to accumulate even a worth of 10 rupees. So just accumulate, just invest in your knowledge, just invest in your skill. Okay. After that, gold. Everyone should go after gold. Even if you are a person with a stable job with a earning, and even if you are a teenager as a student, you should go after gold. Everyone should go after gold. Gold will definitely generate a good amount of returns for you in the nearby future. Definitely it will. Surely it will. And now let's conclude the video. And just follow the ratio of 70 and 20 and 10. It means that if you are a new buy, if you are a teenager, and if you are a new buy, and if you are a person with a job, provide your 70% of your invested amount in mutual funds and rest in gold or bonds. It means that if you are a teenager and if you are planning to invest as a SIP, as a SIP with a worth of 2000 rupees, then 70%, it means that 1400 rupees of your money should be invested by you in the mutual fund, and rest of money, it means that 600 you should it means 30%, 600 of rupees you should invest in other mutual funds, or you can invest in bonds, you can invest in gold. And once you learn, now those 1400 rupees should be invested by you in the open market, in the shares, in the stock market. Now you are ready. Now you are completely ready to invest in the stock market by yourself. You don't need any person, because mutual funds brokers charge a certain rate of brokerage from your returns. You are not going to get 100% of your returns. Some fees they will kept by themselves from your amount. So not that much, but a sort of fees they will charge. So let's conclude this video. This is the last episode of investments, so I'm going to make a playlist of whole the series of investment episodes.